The book of Yashar, Jasher, chapter 51. And Yaakov afterward heard that there was grain in Mitzrayim, and he called unto his sons to go to Mitzrayim to buy grain. For upon them also did the famine prevail. And he called unto his sons, saying, Behold, I hear that there is grain in Mitzrayim, and all the people of the earth go there to purchase. Now therefore, why will you show yourselves satisfied before the whole earth? Go you also down to Mitzrayim, and buy us a little grain amongst those that come there, that we may not die. And the sons of Yaakov hearkened to the voice of their father, and they rose up to go down to Mitzrayim in order to buy grain amongst the rest that came there. And Yaakov their father commanded them, saying, When you come into the city, do not enter together in one gate, on account of the inhabitants of the land. And the sons of Yaakov went forth, and they went to Mitzrayim. And the sons of Yaakov did all as their father had commanded them. And Yaakov did not send Benjamin, for he said, lest an accident might befall him on the road like his brother. And 10 of Yaakov's sons went forth. And while the sons of Yaakov were going on the road, they repented of what they had done to Yosef. And they spoke to each other, saying, We know that our brother Yosef went down to Mitzrayim, and now we will seek him where we go, and if we find him, we will take him from his Adonai for a ransom, and if not, by force, and we will die for him. And the sons of Yaakov agreed to this thing, and strengthened themselves on account of Yosef, to deliver him from the hand of his Adonai. And the sons of Yaakov went to Mitzrayim, and when they came near to Mitzrayim, they separated from each other. And they came through 10 gates of Mitzrayim, and the gatekeepers wrote their names on that day, and brought them to Yosef in the evening. And Yosef read the names from the hand of the gatekeeper of the city. And he found that his brethren had entered at the 10 gates of the city. And Yosef at that time commanded that it should be proclaimed throughout the lands of Mitzrayim, saying, Go forth, all ye store guards, close all the grain stores, and let only one remain open, that those who come may purchase from it. And all the officers of Yosef did so at that time, and they closed all the stores and left only one open. And Yosef gave the written names of his brethren to him that was set over the open store. And he said unto him, Whosoever shall come to you to buy grain, ask his name. And when men of these names shall come before you, seize them and send them. And they did so. And when the sons of Yaakov came into the city, they joined together in the city to seek Yosef before they brought themselves grain. And they went to the walls of the harlots, and they sought Yosef in the walls of the harlots for 3 days, for they thought that Yosef would come in the walls of the harlots. For Yosef was very comely and well favored, and the sons of Yaakov sought Yosef for 3 days, and they could not find him. And the man who was set over the open store sought for those names which Yosef had given him, and he did not find them. And he sent to Yosef, saying, These 3 days have passed, and those men whose names you did give unto me have not come. And Yosef sent servants to seek the men in all Mitzrayim, and to bring them before Yosef. And Yosef's servants went and came into Mitzrayim, and could not find them, and went to Goshen, and they were not there. And then went to the city of Ramek, and could not find them. And Yosef continued to send 16 servants to seek his brothers. And they went and spread themselves in the 4 corners of the city. And 4 of the servants went into the house of the harlots, and they found 10 men there seeking their brother. And those 4 men took them and brought them before him, and they bowed down to him to the ground. And Yosef was sitting upon his throne in his temple, clothed with princely garments, and upon his head was a large crown of gold. And all the mighty men were sitting around him. And the sons of Yaakov saw Yosef, and his figure and comeliness and dignity of countenance seemed wonderful in their eyes. And they again bowed down to him to the ground. And Yosef saw his brethren, and he knew them, but they knew him not, for Yosef was very great in their eyes. Therefore they knew him not. And Yosef spake unto them, saying, From whence come ye? And they all answered and said, Your servants have come from the land of Canaan to buy grain, for the famine prevails throughout the earth. And your servants heard that there was grain in Mitzrayim. So they have come amongst the other comers to buy grain for their support. And Yosef answered them, saying, If you have come to purchase, as you say, why do you come through 10 gates of the city? It can only be that you have come to spy through the land. And they all together answered Yosef and said, Not so, my Adonai. We are right. Your servants are not spies, but we have come to buy grain, for your servants are all brothers, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And our father commanded us, saying, When you come to the city, do not enter together at one gate, on account of the inhabitants of the land. And Yosef again answered them and said, That is the thing which I spoke unto you. You have come to spy through the land. Therefore you all came through 10 gates of the city. You have come to see the nakedness of the land. Surely everyone that comes to buy grain goes his way, and you are already 3 days in the land. And what do you do in the walls of harlots in which you have been for these 3 days? Surely spies do like unto these things. And they said unto Yosef, Far be it from our Adonai to speak thus, for we are 12 brothers, the sons of our father Yaakov, in the land of Canaan, the son of Yitzchak, the son of Abraham, the Ivri. And behold, the youngest is with our father this day, in the land of Canaan, and one is not, for he was lost from us, and we thought perhaps he might be in this land, so we are seeking him throughout the land, and have come even to the houses of harlots to seek him there. And Yosef said unto them, And have you then sought him throughout the earth, that there only remained Mitzrayim for you to seek him in? And what also should your brother do in the houses of harlots, although he was in Mitzrayim? Have you not said that you are from the sons of Yashar, the son of Abraham? And what shall the sons of Yaakov do then in the house of harlots? And they said unto him, Because we heard that the Yishmaelim stole him from us, and it was told unto us that they sold him in Mitzrayim, and your servant, our brother, is very comely and well favored. So we thought he would surely be in the houses of harlots. Therefore your servants went there to seek him and give ransom for him. And Yosef still answered them, saying, Surely you speak falsely and utter lies, to say of yourselves that you are the sons of Abraham. As Pharaoh lives, you are spies. Therefore have you come to the houses of harlots, that you should not be known. And Yosef said unto them, And now, if you find him, and his Adonai requires of you a great price, will you give it for him? And they said, It shall be given. And he said unto them, And if his Adonai will not consent to part with him for a great price, what will you do unto him on his account? And they answered him, saying, If he will not give him unto us, we will slay him, and take our brother, and go away. And Yosef said unto them, That is the thing which I have spoken to you. You are spies, for you are come to slay the inhabitants of the land. For we heard that 2 of your brethren smote all the inhabitants of Shechem in the land of Canaan on account of your sister. And now you come to do the like in Mitzrayim on account of your brother. Only hereby shall I know that you are truly men, if you will send home one from amongst you to fetch your youngest brother from your father, and to bring him here unto me, and by doing this thing I will know that you are right. And Yosef called to 70 of his mighty men, and he said unto them, Take these men and bring them into the ward. And the mighty men took the 10 men, they laid hold of them, and put them into the ward. And they were in the ward 3 days. And on the 3rd day Yosef had brought them out of the ward, and he said unto them, Do this for yourselves, if you be true men, so that you may live. One of your brethren shall be confined in the ward, while you go and take home the grain for your household to the land of Canaan, and fetch your youngest brother, and bring him here unto me, that I may know that you are true men when you do this thing. And Yosef went out from them, and came into the chamber, and wept a great weeping, for his pity was excited for them. And he washed his face, and returned to them again. And he took Shimon from them, and ordered him to be bound. But Shimon was not willing to be done so, for he was very powerful, and they could not bind him. And Yosef called unto his mighty men, and 70 valiant men came before him with drawn swords in their hands. And the sons of Yaakov were terrified at them. And Yosef said unto them, Seize this man and confine him in prison until his brethren come to him. And Yosef's valiant men hastened, and they all laid hold of Shimon to bind him. And Shimon gave a loud and terrible shriek, and the cry was heard at a distance. And all the valiant men of Yosef were terrified at the sound of the shriek, that they fell upon their faces, and they were greatly afraid and fled. And all the men that were with Yosef fled, for they were greatly afraid of their lives. And only Yosef and Manasseh, his son, remained there. And Manasseh, the son of Yosef, saw the strength of Shimon, and he was exceedingly wroth. And Manasseh, the son of Yosef, rose up to Shimon, and Manasseh smote Shimon on a heavy blow with his fist against the back of his neck. And Shimon was stilled of his rage. And Manasseh laid hold of Shimon, and he seized him violently, and he bound him, and brought him into the house of confinement. And all the sons of Yaakov were astonished at the act of the youth. And Shimon said unto his brethren, None of you must say that this is the smiting of a Mitzrayim, but it is the smiting of the house of my father. And after this Yosef ordered him to be called, who was set over the storehouse, to fill their sacks with grain, as much as they could carry, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them permission for the road. And thus did he unto them. And Yosef commanded them, saying, Take heed lest you transgress my orders, to bring your brother as I have told you. And it shall be, when you bring your brother hither to me, then I will know that you are true men, and you shall traffic in the land, and I will restore you your brother, and you shall return in peace to your father. And they all answered and said, According as our Adonai speaks, so we will do. And they bowed down to him to the ground. And every man lifted his grain upon his ass, and they went out to go to the land of Canaan to their father. And they came to the inn, and Levi spread his sack to give provender to his ass, when he saw, and behold, his money in full weight was still in his sack. And the man was greatly afraid, and he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And the men were greatly afraid, and they said, What is this that Elohim has done unto us? And they all said, And where is Yahuwah's kindness with our fathers, with Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, that Yahuwah has this day delivered us into the hands of the king of Mitzrayim to contrive against us? And Yehudah said unto them, Surely we are guilty sinners before Yahuwah Elonaiah, in having sold our brother, our own flesh. And wherefore do you say, Where is Yahuwah's kindness with our fathers? And Reuben said unto them, Said I not unto you, Do not sin against the lad? And you would not listen to me? Now Elohim requires him from us. And how dare you say, Where is Yahuwah's kindness with our fathers, while you have sinned unto Yahuwah? And they tarried overnight in that place. And they rose up early in the morning and laded their asses with their grain. And they led them and went on and came to their father's house in the land of Canaan. And Yaakov and his household went out to meet his sons. And Yaakov saw, and behold, their brother Shimon was not with them. And Yaakov said unto his sons, Where is your brother Shimon, whom I do not see? And his sons told him all that had befallen them in Mitzrayim. Chapter 52. And they entered their house, and every man opened his sack, and they saw, and behold, every man's bundle of money was there, at which they and their father were greatly terrified. And Yaakov said unto them, What is this that you have done to me? I sent your brother Yosef to inquire after you. And you said unto me, A wild beast did devour him. And Shimon went with you to buy food. And you say, The king of Mitzrayim has confined him in prison. And you wish to take Benjamin to cause his death also, and to bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to Sheol on account of Benjamin and his brother Joseph? Now therefore, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone, and mischief may befall him by the way in which you go, as it befell his brother. And Reuben said unto his father, You shall slay my 2 sons, if I do not bring your son and place him before you. And Yaakov said unto his sons, Abide ye here, and do not go down to Mitzrayim, for my son shall not go down with you to Mitzrayim, nor die like his brother. And Yehudah said unto them, Refrain ye from him until the grain is finished, and he will then say, Take down your brother, when he will find his own life and the life of his household in danger from the famine. And in those days the famine was sore throughout the land, and all the people of the earth went and came to Mitzrayim to buy food, for the famine prevailed greatly amongst them. And the sons of Yaakov remained in Canaan 1 year and 2 months, until their grain was finished. And it came to pass, after their grain was finished, the whole household of Yaakov was pinched with hunger. And all the infants of the sons of Yaakov came together, and they approached Yaakov, and they all surrounded him, and they said unto him, Give unto us bread, and wherefore shall we all perish through this hunger in your presence? Yaakov heard the words of his sons' children, and he wept a great weeping, and his pity was roused for them. And Yaakov called unto his sons, and they all came and sat before him. And Yaakov said unto them, And have you not seen how your children have been weeping over me this day, saying, Give unto us bread, and there is none? Now therefore, return and buy for us a little food. And Yehudah answered and said unto his father, If you will send our brother with us, we will go down and buy grain for you. And if you will not send him, then we will not go down, for surely the king of Mitzrayim particularly enjoined us, saying, "You shall not see my face unless your brother be with you." For the king of Mitzrayim is a strong and mighty king. And behold, if we shall go to him without our brother, we shall all be put to death. Do you not know, and have you not heard, that this king is very powerful and wise, and there is not like unto him in all the earth? Behold, we have seen all the kings of the earth, and we have not seen one like that king, the king of Mitzrayim. Surely amongst all the kings of the earth there is none greater than Avimelech, king of the Pelashitim. Yet the king of Mitzrayim is greater and mightier than he, and Avimelech can only be compared to one of his officers. Father, you have not seen his palace and his throne and all his servants standing before him. You have not seen that king upon his throne in his pomp and royal appearance, dressed in his kingly robes, with a large golden crown upon his head. You have not seen the honor and glory which Elohim has given unto him. For there is not like unto him in all the earth. Father, you have not seen the wisdom, the understanding, and the knowledge which Elohim has given in his heart, nor heard his sweet voice when he spoke unto us. We know not, Father, who made him acquainted with our names and all that befell us. Yet he asked also after you, saying, Is your father still living? And is it well with him? You have not seen the affairs of the government of Mitzrayim regulated by him. Without inquiring of Pharaoh his Adonai, you have not seen the awe and fear which he impressed upon all the Mitzrayim. And also, when we went from him, we threatened to do unto Mitzrayim like unto the rest of the cities of the Amorim, and we were exceedingly wroth against all his words, which he spoke concerning us as spies. And now, when we shall again come before him, his terror will fall upon us all, and not one of us will be able to speak to him either a little or a great thing. Now therefore, Father, send, we pray you, the lad with us, and we will go down and buy you food for our support, and not die through the hunger. And Yaakov said, Why have you dealt so ill with me, to tell the king you had a brother? What is this thing that you have done unto me? And Yehudah said unto Yaakov his father, Give the lad into my care, and we will rise up and go down to Mitzrayim, and buy grain, and then return. And it shall be, when we return, if the lad be not with us, then let me bear your blame forever. Have you seen all our infants weeping over you through hunger, and there is no power in your hand to satisfy them? Now let your pity be roused for them, and send our brother with us, and we will go. For how will Yahuwah's kindness to our ancestors be manifested to you, when you say that the king of Mitzrayim will take away your son? As Yahuwah lives, I will not leave him until I bring him and place him before you. But pray for us unto Yahuwah, that he may deal kindly with us, to cause us to be received favorably and kindly before the king of Mitzrayim and his men. For had we not delayed, surely now we had returned a second time with your son. And Yaakov said unto his sons, I trust in Yahuwah Elohim, that he may deliver you, and give you favor in the sight of the king of Mitzrayim, and in the sight of all his men. Now therefore rise up and go to the man, and take for him in your hands a present from what can be obtained in the land, and bring it before him, and may Al Shaddai Elohim give you mercy before him, that he may send Binyamin and Shimon your brother with you. And all the men rose up, and they took their brother Binyamin, and they took in their hands a large present of the best of the land, and they also took a double portion of silver. And Yaakov strictly commanded his sons concerning Benjamin, saying, Take heed of him in the way in which you are going, and do not separate yourselves from him in the road, neither in Mitzrayim. And Yaakov rose up from his sons, and spread forth his hands, and he prayed unto Yahuwah on account of his sons, saying, O Yahuwah, Elohim of Shamayim and earth, remember your covenant with our father Abraham. Remember it with my father Yitzchak, and deal kindly with my sons, and deliver them not into the hands of the king of Mitzrayim. Do it, I pray you, O Elohim, for the sake of your mercies, and redeem all my children, and rescue them from Mitzri power, and send them their two brothers. And all the women of the sons of Yaakov and their children lifted up their eyes to Shamayim, and they all wept before Yahuwah, and cried unto him to deliver their fathers from the hand of the king of Mitzrayim. And Yaakov wrote a record to the king of Mitzrayim, and gave it into the hand of Yehuda, and into the hand of his sons, for the king of Mitzrayim, saying, From your servant Yaakov, son of Yitzchak, son of Abraham, the Ivri, the prince of Elohim, to the powerful and wise king, the revealer of secrets, king of Mitzrayim, greeting. Be it known to my Adonai, the king of Mitzrayim, the famine was sore upon us in the land of Canaan, and I sent my sons to you to buy us a little food from you for our support. For my sons surrounded me, and I, being very old, cannot see with my eyes, for my eyes have become very heavy through age, as well as with daily weeping for my son, for Yosef, who was lost from before me. And I commanded my sons that they should not enter the gates of the city when they came to Mitzrayim, on account of the inhabitants of the land. And I also commanded them to go about Mitzrayim to seek for my son Yosef. Perhaps they might find him there. And they did so. And you did consider them as spies of the land. Have we not heard concerning you that you did interpret Pharaoh's dream, and did speak truly unto him? How then do you not know in your wisdom whether my sons are spies or not? Now therefore, my Adonai and King, behold, I have sent my son before you. As you did speak unto my sons, I beseech you to put your eyes upon him until he is returned to me in peace with his brethren. For do you not know, or have you not heard, that which our Elohim did unto Pharaoh when he took my mother Sarah, and what he did to Avimelech, king of the Pelishtim, on account of her, and also what our father Abraham did unto the 9 kings of Elam, how he smote them all with a few men that were with him, and also what my 2 sons Shimon and Levi did unto the 8 cities of the Amorim, how they destroyed them on account of their sister Dinah, and also on account of their brother Benjamin. They consoled themselves for the loss of his brother Yosef. What will they then do for him when they see the hand of any people prevailing over them for his sake? Do you not know, O king of Mitzrayim, that the power of Elohim is with us, and that also Elohim ever hears our prayers and forsakes us not all the days? And when my sons told me of your dealings with them, I called not unto Yahuwah on account of you, for then you would have perished with your men before my son Benjamin came before you. But I thought that as Shimon, my son, was in your house, perhaps you might deal kindly with him. Therefore I did not this thing unto you. Now therefore, behold, Benjamin my son comes unto you with my sons. Take heed of him, and put your eyes upon him, and then will Elohim place his eyes over you, and throughout your kingdom. Now I have told you all that is in my heart. And behold, my sons are coming to you with their brother. Examine the face of the whole earth for their sake, and send them back in peace with their brethren. And Yaakov gave the record to his son into the care of Yehuda, to give it unto the king of Mitzrayim. Chapter 53. And the sons of Yaakov rose up and took Benjamin and the whole of the presents, and they went and came to Mitzrayim, and they stood before Yosef. And Yosef beheld his brother Benjamin with them, and he saluted them. And these men came to Yosef's house. And Yosef commanded the superintendent of his house to give to his brethren to eat, and he did so unto them. And at noon time Yosef sent for the men to come before him with Benjamin. And the men told the superintendent of Yosef's house concerning the silver that was returned in their sacks. And he said unto them, It will be well with you, fear not. And he brought their brother Shimon unto them. And Shimon said unto his brethren, The Adonai of the Mitzrayim has acted very kindly unto me. He did not keep me bound, as you saw with your eyes. For when you went out from the city, he let me free and dealt kindly with me in his house. And Yehuda took Benjamin by the hand, and they came before Yosef, and they bowed down to him to the ground. And the men gave the present to Yosef, And they all sat before him. And Yosef said unto them, Is it well with you? Is it well with your children? Is it well with your aged father? And they said, It is well. And Yehuda took the record which Yaakov had sent and gave it into the hand of Yosef. And Yosef read the Cepher and knew his father's writing, and he wished to weep. And he went into an inner room, and he wept a great weeping, and he went out. And he lifted up his eyes and beheld his brother Benjamin, and he said, Is this your brother of whom you spoke unto me? And Benjamin approached Yosef, and Yosef placed his hand upon his head, and he said unto him, May Elohim be gracious unto you, my son. And when Yosef saw his brother, the son of his mother, he again wished to weep, and he entered the chamber, and he wept there, and he washed his face, and went out, and refrained from weeping. And he said, Prepare food. And Yosef had a cup from which he drank, and it was of silver beautifully inlaid with onyx stones and bdellium. And Yosef struck the cup in the sight of his brethren, while they were sitting to eat with him. And Yosef said unto the men, I know by this cup that Reuben, the firstborn, Shimon, and Levi, and Yehuda, Issachar, and Zebulun are children from one mother. Seat yourselves to eat according to your births. And he also placed the others according to their births. And he said, I know that this younger brother has no brother, and I, like him, have no brother. He shall therefore sit down to eat with me. And Benjamin went up before Yosef, and sat upon the throne. And the men beheld the acts of Yosef, and they were astonished at them. And the men ate and drank at that time with Yosef, and he gave presents unto them. And Yosef gave one gift unto Benjamin, and Manasseh and Ephraim saw the acts of their father, and they also gave presents unto him. And Asnath gave him one present, and they were 5 presents in the hand of Benjamin. And Yosef brought them out wine to drink, and they would not drink. And they said, From the day on which Yosef was lost, we have not drunk wine, nor eaten any delicacies. And Yosef swore unto them, and he pressed them hard, and they drank plentifully with him on that day. And Yosef afterward turned to his brother Benjamin to speak with him. And Benjamin was still sitting upon the throne before Yosef. And Yosef said unto him, Have you begotten any children? And he said, Your servant has 10 sons, and these are their names: Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Eki, Rosh, Mupim, Chupim, and Ard. I called their names after my brother, whom I have not seen. And he ordered them to bring before him his map of the stars, whereby Yosef knew all the times. And Yosef said unto Benjamin, I have heard that the Ephraim are acquainted with all wisdom. Do you know anything of this? And Benjamin said, Your servant is knowing also in all the wisdom which my father taught me. And Yosef said unto Benjamin, Look now at this instrument, and understand where your brother Yosef is in Mitzrayim, who you said went down to Mitzrayim. And Benjamin beheld that instrument with the map of the stars of Shamayim, and he was wise, and looked therein to know where his brother was. And Benjamin divided the whole land of Mitzrayim into 4 divisions, and he found that he who was sitting upon the throne before him was his brother Joseph. And Benjamin wondered greatly. And when Joseph saw that his brother Benjamin was so much astonished, he said unto Benjamin, What have you seen? And why are you astonished? And Benjamin said unto Joseph, I can see by this that Joseph my brother sits here with me upon the throne. And Joseph said unto him, I am Joseph, your brother. Reveal not this thing unto your brethren. Behold, I will send you with them when they go away, and I will command them to be brought back again into the city, and I will take you away from them. And if they dare their lives and fight for you, then I shall know that they have repented of what they did unto me, and I will make myself known to them. And if they forsake you when I take you, then you shall remain with me, and I will wrangle with them, and they shall go away, and I will not become known to them. At that time Joseph commanded his officer to fill their sacks with food, and to put each man's money into his sack, and to put the cup in the sack of Benjamin, and to give them provision for the road. And they did so unto them. And on the next day the men rose up early in the morning, and they loaded their asses with their grain, and they went forth with Benjamin, and they went to the land of Canaan with their brother Benjamin. They had not gone far from Mitzrayim when Joseph commanded him that was set over his house, saying, Rise, pursue these men before they get too far from Mitzrayim, and say unto them, Why have you stolen my Adonai's cup? And Joseph's officer rose up, and he reached them, and he spoke unto them all the words of Joseph. And when they heard this thing, they became exceedingly wroth, and they said, He with whom your Adonai's cup shall be found shall die, and we will also become slaves. And they hastened, and each man brought down his sack from his ass. And they looked in their bags, and the cup was found in Benjamin's bag. And they all tore their garments, and they returned to the city, and they smote Benjamin in the road, continually smiting him, until he came into the city. And they stood before Joseph. And Yehuda's anger was kindled, and he said, This man has brought me back to destroy Mitzrayim this day. And the men came to Joseph's house, and they found Joseph sitting upon his throne, and all the mighty men sitting at his right and left. And Joseph said unto them, What is this act that you have done, that you took away my silver cup and went away? But I know that you took my cup in order to know thereby in what part of the land your brother was. And Yehuda said, What shall we say to our Adonai? What shall we speak, and how shall we justify ourselves? Elohim has this day found the iniquity of all your servants. Therefore has he done this thing to us this day. And Joseph rose up and caught hold of Benjamin, and took him from his brethren with violence. And he came to the house, and locked the door at them. And Joseph commanded him that was set over his house, that he should say unto them, Thus says the king, Go in peace to your father. Behold, I have taken the man in whose hand my cup was found.